There's so many different areas that you can discuss as far as problems that may occur with transitioning from military to civilian life. The first one that I always come back to is the employment side. The military is so full of highly trained individuals, and it has to be now. I mean, it's a volunteer force. You're expected to do more with less. We're not the biggest army in the world, but we're the best trained and the most well equipped. You have to be very tactically and technically proficient, not only with the gear that we are in, but also understanding the environment you're in. So by having somebody on the civilian side that doesn't understand that aspect of being a soldier, it's difficult to translate those skills to your typical HR hiring professional. A returning soldier might not know that that's the civilian name for something that they were working with in the military, something that was very close. So having somebody there that can help translate that story or that piece of that requirement into what they were doing in the past is extremely important. And I think building a network of people that understand that and are willing to mentor and network with returning veterans and tell them, hey, if you've done this in your experience, this is where it translates extremely well. I was dealing with a young veteran recently, and she had a job as a supply clerk in the military. One of the things that she didn't realize is that the supply system that she was using translates extremely well to inventory trucking control systems. Inventory control systems used by truckers and warehousers and a lot of manufacturers. She didn't know that that's where she should be focusing her job on, and that's how she should be taking her experience on that system and leveraging it into, I know it's not the same system, but it's very similar, and let me tell you a little bit about what I was doing, to give the employer that almost better feeling that the training time on this individual is going to be a lot lower than it is off of somebody just coming in off the street and saying, I'd like a job. Really, right now we're focused on employment. Employment for me is the number one issue that we need to focus on in our area, in our Veterans Count chapter. It's basically the reason that most of them joined the military in the first place and transition that over into civilian life, into a skill, into any skills, into a job. That's two things. One, as an employer, that's somebody that I want to employ. That's somebody that I want working for me. And number two, from somebody that comes from the veterans community, that's engaging people that have big hearts that just want to work. And you're doing a good for them by keeping them actively involved in what they do and working on a skill. You know, I've always believed that the more you put into something, the more that you get out of it. And I am fully involved in really wanting to make the best for people. And the veterans community is is one that I really care about. Again, being a member of it and being a leader of soldiers in wartime. I've seen all sorts of different backgrounds of people. I've seen people that on the surface you would think would butt heads more often than not, but you start working together, you get a good team dynamic going, and you walk out of some stressful situations, and those people that you thought were butting heads are walking out with their arms around each other and still stay in contact to this day and introduce each other to their wives and children further and further on down the road. So the experience that I had, again, it's unique to me, but there are many others out there with similar experiences and with similar relationships, and that would give the shirt off their back for their soldiers. And again, I agree with that, and that's something that's always been a part of me, is making sure that we're together in that and you take care of the people that care about you.